Welcome to Viva La Visionary, the podcast that celebrates the innovative ideas and mindsets of entrepreneurs and visionaries. Join your host, Coach Bob Schittefeld, as he dives into inspiring stories and practical insights from trailblazers who are changing the game. Whether you're an aspiring entrepreneur or a seasoned leader, this show is your source for motivation and creativity. Let's embark on this exciting journey together.
Hi there, Coach Bob here, host of Viva La Visionary, celebrating and elevating the visionary, and excited to learn with and learn from amazing visionaries. And today our amazing visionary is Chaz Freutel. Chaz, how are you today?
Great, Bob. Thank you so much.
And you usually are. I love that about you. That's awesome. So want to start with a simple little question. So Chaz, why are you on this planet?
Why am I on this planet? Well, hey, that question has changed in my mind over time, but today I'm here to serve the kingdom of God. I'm a kingdom guy, and so first I'm serving the kingdom, but then also I love serving other people. Most of what I do is spending some time really talking to people, mentoring people, teaching, and just helping them to become better leaders and to help them start and grow and maybe exit out of businesses.
Love it. And you've been a shining example for many of us visionaries of giving and serving. And I just wanted to expand on that a little bit, that not only do you do that, but it sounds like you get just as much from giving. And I think a lot of people don't understand that, because if I'm going to be giving, I'm giving up receiving. So yeah, just explain your mentality around serving and giving to people. I love it.
Well, good question. It comes from my mom. It comes from my dad. It comes from my grandparents. And then over time, it's come from other people, and just people like my mom who just would do anything for anybody. Literally has taken clothes off of her back and given them to people, right? And that's how I was raised. So it then became easy for me to want to give extra time, even while I'm, got a full-time job or whatever it might want to be. I'm always then, anybody says, hey, let's go volunteer here. Hey, let's go volunteer there. It was always just natural for me. So I would follow her to the Capitol and,
right.
I'd be picketing about something, or I would follow her to a homeless shelter. It was just following my mom and others around. And it just became second nature. So it's fun. Right. And really, you know what? Sometimes you want something in return, but I'll tell you, just the heart and the warmness and just the great feeling that you get once you have helped somebody.
Right.
And you're not looking for anything in return. That makes you feel good, it's just like when somebody else opens up a Christmas present that you take some time to find. You feel so good when they get that smile on their face, or you've solved the problem, those kind of things. So yeah, it's what it is. You get back what you give.
No, I love that. And it makes sense. And I keep learning that more and more, but I just wanted to do a little deeper dive because, again, you're such a great example of that. And my mom, I think, was similar to your mom. I mean, she literally is an angel, and it's almost like, why do you do that much? But that's who she is, and that's helped me to do that as well. So I know you have a couple businesses. Can you explain them briefly? I know you've got a couple entities that you're heading up. So what is it that you do in your businesses?
Well, I'll tell you, it's a lot of the Visionary Forum and attending summits that have helped me to have more than one business. When I first started my first business, Get You Connected, in 2009, for the first 7-8 years, I was a solopreneur, didn't want to have anything to do with having employees, necessarily growing significantly, having partners, anything like that. You know what? It was my brother, Doug, who's very involved in the forum, as well as, just being a part of the forum that really helped me to realize I was a visionary. I didn't prior to that. And really what that meant. And then once I figured that, hey, I'm a visionary and I'm not an integrator, and what it means to have those kinds of tools and people around you, then I started hockey sticking and have added more and more businesses along the way. And now I get excited starting businesses like most visionaries do, and have learned to work with others and appreciate others that can step in and do the things that visionaries aren't great at. Right. And that's running companies, So now I have 8 organizations now that I'm either the owner of, partner in, investor in, or whatever. And we've got two additional ones kind of in the works. So the Visionaries kind of taken off.
Right.
And I really attribute a lot of that to you and the Visionary Forum and really meeting a lot of amazing people at the summit.
I love that. And as you know, one of our taglines is similar to iron sharpening iron. It's visionaries unleashing visionaries. And so again, I learned so much from you and the other visionaries, and it's just the possibilities and experience share has been amazing. So I appreciate that. So tell me a little bit about Noble. You're wearing your Noble banner on your vest. So what is Noble?
Well, thank you for asking that. And that's one of the newer organizations that have been associated. It's one of the two nonprofits that I have. I have another nonprofit that I do with my wife. But Noble stands for a network of owners, business leaders, and entrepreneurs.
Nice.
And so we serve people with kingdom principles on how to understand what their purpose is in life. Right. There's been many doctors and others, and somebody that I love to follow, and that's Dr. Miles Monroe. And he said at any given time in this world, only 1% of people truly understand what their purpose is here on this planet. Why, right? And that's a shame. That's a shame, whether you're a kingdom person or not. That's a shame, okay? Right. But then what we do is, so we help people to understand what their purpose is, but then we help them to develop leadership skills, as well as taking people from ideation clear to pitching to real investors over a 3-month period of time to help them launch new businesses, and hoping that those new businesses fulfill their passions, fulfill their purpose, and therefore they're happy. Right. In that business. They're happy serving people with a product, happy serving people with a service. And again, filling in kingdom principles during that whole process. And then we have regular events, regular speakers throughout the month, ongoing one-on-one mentoring throughout, and everything that we do is free. So we're blessed to have sponsors and others that come alongside us so that we can provide all of those kinds of services free of charge.
That's awesome. Yeah, one of the things that I've realized when we started the Visionary Forum is it's obviously a community of visionaries to learn from and learn from each other, and to teach and to receive and serve. And I'm realizing that a lot of us are not just thought leaders, but we have a message and, again, our purpose. And so a lot of us have been creating our own communities. And so we're kind of a community of visionaries helping each other to create our own communities. And that's to spread, again, the good word of teaching and serving our purpose and making a difference in the world and healing ourselves. So that's been fun to watch. Very cool. So you learned that you're now a visionary. What's your definition of what are our roles as a visionary? What are we supposed to be doing or being as a visionary, in your opinion?
Well, I think there again, visionaries, which is a very small percentage of society, right? We play a role in helping others, I think, create their visions, because the majority of people in society aren't visionaries, right? And so they struggle to create a vision. And so specifically in what I'm doing with Noble, we get people that come in that aren't visionary, but they have a great idea. They're the kind of person that can make that idea happen. But we all know that visionaries often start businesses, integrators run businesses. But sometimes if you don't have enough visionary in you, you don't have enough vision for what that company can be, the freshness of it, the newness of it. What can it do for society? How can it improve the world, right? And sitting down with a visionary can maybe give them some of that perspective that they don't have themselves. And so it's not always about starting a new business. Right. But sometimes it's just helping others enjoy this planet so much more with understanding what their vision can be.
I love that. And part of the enlightened visionary journey that we talk about, it's to ultimately to coach. And it's not that we are being paid to be a coach, and sometimes that makes sense, but to coach our employees, other people about their businesses, our kids. With our kids, it's like, so what do you want to do after high school? It's like, well, I don't know. Well, if you did know, what would that be? So again, it's a lot of people don't even understand what vision is. Mm-hmm. It's possibilities and just slowing down and imagining something great. And so, yeah, I love that. That's helping people to what's their vision for their goals or rocks? What's their vision for their job? What's and then sharing the vision of our company. So no, I appreciate that because like you said, it's less than 10% are visionaries, and I don't feel it's our job to create more visionaries. It's to be a great example of what having vision is, and sometimes that's falling on our face and getting back up and keep continuing, or saying maybe this doesn't make sense, but at least we had the courage to try it. I love that.
Completely agree.
So what's one thing that you could share that is a lesson learned for you as a visionary that really helped you to kind of elevate your business or your life that you could share? Something that you either tried or stopped doing, a lesson learned for you as a visionary in the past.
Yeah, you know what the forum and the summit have helped me to do, and being around, a group of 25, generally other entrepreneurs that are visionaries as well, is to have to understand that we have to help others understand who we are, right? And then I think, have to be more appreciative of what other people are that aren't visionaries, right? So typically it's like oil and water. You sit in a meeting and somebody's an integrator, and you have conflict because they have discernment and they
Right.
want to take more time doing things. And us visionaries, we want to go, go, go and get things going and get things started.
Right.
So it's conflict, right? Naturally conflict, but I think it's taking the time to help others understand who we are, and then for us to have a greater appreciation for others who can help us
Right.
cast and make those visions into reality. And we need those other people, the other 90% of society, to make that happen. We need them, right?
Yeah.
And oftentimes we don't look at it that way.
No, I love that. And I think that's the biggest thing I've learned and I've seen as people have grown as visionaries. It's to slow down. Again, we're speed freaks and future often freaks. So it's great to have that, but to slow down. And I know in the past, I did not spend much time with my employees. I'm kind of like, we're going and get out of my way. And that is not always the best leadership. So I appreciate the slowing down. So what's one thing that you're working on, either an opportunity or an issue that you're dealing with as a visionary that you're contemplating or making some decisions on?
Well, I found that over the last 2 years especially, I found that I've become more of a mentor.
Right.
I've got more people that are referring people to me. It hasn't been something that I was seeking to do. I'm going to go out and be a mentor. I'm going to go out and make money at being a mentor, which is okay, right? That isn't something that I sought to do because I teach with Noble, but I wasn't seeking to become a mentor. But people started saying, I need to introduce you to Chaz because he's taught me this,
Right.
or he listens and has pointed me in this direction, or whatever it might be. And so what I found is to be a better mentor, I really needed to go back and understand myself better, okay, and review the minor. I don't think I've ever had any major traumas in my past,
Right.
but some of those minor traumas that have come along, I've been blessed not to have anything huge happen to me, but some minor traumas, and go back and see how those have affected how I respond and deal with people.
Right.
And I want to get rid of those traumas so that I can listen, understand, and be able to guide people more with the wisdom that I've been able to gather over my time. And of course, being a kingdom guy, I feel it's the Holy Spirit speaking through me, and therefore allowing the Holy Spirit to speak through me more. And traumas tend to close that door and doesn't allow the Holy Spirit to come through enough. I'm trying to get rid of that. I want to be in the flow and have the Holy Spirit flowing all the time, so that even if a waitress or something walks up, I can say a great word to her that might change that day or change her life.
Right. No, I love that. So I'm going to go into it. Can be a tougher subject. We talk a lot about spirit, and my purpose is to help or to elevate the entrepreneurial spirit. And I talk a lot about spirit. I don't always talk about God or my beliefs in something greater. And I hear you mention kingdom a lot. I just wanted to touch upon and make sure that people know that, it's okay if I believe there's something greater than myself and you believe this. And to me, Dr. Bill Isaacs, he wrote a book called Dialogue, and it was the art of learning together. And so I know at some of our summits, we've had conversations with people of different faith, for lack of a better word, and we can still have an open conversation and learn from each other. And I think that's one of the greatest compliments that I've ever gotten was, I heard you say at one summit that we've created a safe space where we're not judging each other either for an idea we have or a belief we have. And then I'll add one more thing, and then I'll ask you the question. But I've had people call us a faith-based organization. I'm like, whoa, we are not faith-based. And then whoever said it was like, well, no, you help people to have faith in themselves, faith in something greater than themselves. faith in vision, faith in humanity, faith in love. And I'm like, okay, that's fair enough. But I just wanted to see if you could touch on, again, I so respect and learn about your beliefs and your faith. I just want to see if you could share, again, I do believe that most people who are attracted to this group have a belief that there's something greater. So any comments around that? Because again, I know you are very focused on that. And again, I love that and I've learned from, but we're not trying to persuade people to believe this or believe that. So any comments on that?
Yeah, no, it's because it's what you said. You're creating a safe space, and we come to the summit, and you've got rules. And everybody, I think, does a great job of kind of abiding by those rules. That this is a friendly place where we're not listening to everybody stealing their ideas and and running back home. I mean, it's a safe space, and when people recognize that, and I think visionaries in general appreciate that. Right? Because we're throwing out new ideas all the time. And we get our ideas stolen, right? If we don't are worrying about all the IP protection, and so it's a safe space, whether it's virtual connections that we're making during the forums or whether it's the summit where we're sitting next to each other. It's a safe space. Right. And, I'm not there to convert everybody in the room, as I don't think anybody's really there to do anything like that. But the beauty of it is it's an open forum where we all listen to who we are, right, and we appreciate who we are, and we learn from each other. We learn from each other. We gain wisdom from each other. There have been Jewish people and Muslim people and different kinds of people that have been involved with the Visionary Forum and Summit, and I've learned from them, and I've appreciated them. And I've become friends with them. And, sometimes then we get in kind of the faith discussion and maybe we're tugging on each other a little bit or whatever, but it's all in fun and it's all out of respect. And our country could learn a little bit more about how we can get together. Yep. A group of people all having different ideas, coming from different cultures, coming from different backgrounds, and be able to just sit and talk and appreciate each other. We're all there as visionaries, as a commonality, right? But if we could get people all together in commonalities so that everybody's got at least something they can identify with, but then be trusting and loving around all the others in what their thoughts and beliefs are, boy, wouldn't we have a wonderful world and a wonderful society?
I love that. And to me, this is a microcosm of what I'm hoping we're creating is that safe space that we can love each other. And again, we have the same common goal. It's to live a great life, make a difference, have impact, have a faith. And again, I'm still learning on how to explain what mine is. And again, you've even helped me with that. And it's not you need to think this way, or you're wrong if you think that way. And even after hours at one of our summits, there was a presidential debate, and we had people from both sides laughing, and that's okay. We're different, and we have different upbringings. And again, back to Dr. Bill Isaac, he talked about the art of learning together is sharing in a safe space our history, our experiences, our beliefs. And then when I get it out of my head, sometimes I might share that with you, and I'm like, that's not even what I believe. But it's that chatter in our heads. But if it's a safe space and I get it out of my head, then I can choose to say, you know what, that is interesting. So I appreciate your safe space and that. And again, I do love that we are talking about, and again, faith has been a word with kind of baggage for me in the past. That's my own stuff. But again, it's like, no, it is faith. That it is, I believe in love and I believe in magic and I believe in the human connection. And I do believe there is a God and something greater. And again, why can't we all play together? Mm-hmm. So this has been a place for me to do that. And I appreciate all of your experiences and whatnot. All right. So my last question, if you have anything else to add or questions for me, that's great. But our rally cry is Viva La Visionary. And that's the name of the podcast. And so what does Viva La Visionary mean to you?
Long live visionaries, right? Long live visionaries. God forbid that everybody on this planet would be visionaries because nothing would get built, nothing would get done, right? But there's just enough of us that spice up life. And there's just enough of us that create new solutions to problems. Right. And there's enough of us that are out there that I think if they surround themselves in organizations like the Visionary Forum that they can thrive, understand what they can be as a visionary, how they truly can contribute to society. I mean, what's more of a blessing than at the end of the day that you gave some great advice to 2 people, you said a kind word to 3 people, and you you taught a few people, and you gave a couple people a couple great new ideas or thoughts. And at the end of the day, you're like, wow, all those 10, 20 people that I just encountered with, they can all go out there and change the world because you said something to them that put them into a new direction. And that vision that you're able to cast with some crazy ideas that we come up with. So that's what I think it is. And that's when I sit back and put my head on the pillow at night. I try to think of the blessings that I had during the day. And it wasn't making another dollar.
Right.
And it wasn't, those kinds of things. It was, how many people did I get to impact today?
Yep.
And when I said something nice to somebody that was serving me, and the smile that puts on their face to change their day. And when you come home with that perspective, that beats a tough day of your business. It beats something that somebody may have said to you. It beats something on social media that threw you off, or something that's negative going on in the world or whatever. That, because you've contributed that day to society. And at the end of our days, you just hope that people come and they say, you know what, I appreciated that person was there and to be able to contribute to society in a positive way.
Oh, I love that. Well said. Now, one of the other things that I just wanted to share, you have challenged me, for lack of a better term, to question a thought or the way I presented something. And again, I honor that, and I take that very seriously. And we've had great conversations. So again, I appreciate the courage and the safe space that we have. And again, to share your experience and wisdom has meant a lot to me. So I appreciate that. So any final words of wisdom for the visionaries out there?
Well, I'll hit on that one thought. I'm not going to go into the weeds on it, but you know what? That was a rare thing for me to do, was to come up to you after that one summit day, right? It was a rare thing for me to do. I was very wary of whether or not I was going to even do it. But what it taught me is I had the guts then to do it, but then how it was received by you was outstanding, right? And because of how you received it, you didn't, fight me and all that kind of stuff. You sat back and you thought about it, right? And then what it gave me is confidence to be able to do that with others. And that kind of put me on more of a path to be a mentor and being willing to actually not hold back, but actually be completely transparent about what I feel about some trouble that you're going through or whatever, for me to say, this is my opinion on how you need to fix that, right? The mentor, and to give you some wisdom. So that was kind of part of it. So unbeknownst to you, some of the things that you've said or done or how I've replied or whatever have helped me to become a better person, a better husband, a better dad, a better business leader, and maybe now for a number of years, a better mentor to our youth and to fellow entrepreneurs.
Awesome. Great. Well, thank you for sharing that. And again, I used to think I had so much to teach, and I know I do teach things, but it's more about the learning, and to be the student. And so, I appreciate that. So thank you for your courage and sharing your experience and thoughts. And again, I'd like to think it's for everyone, but especially in our group, when someone suggests something, I know it's out of love and it's not for their gain. They're doing it, and you are doing that to help me to think and to do I need to make an adjustment or not? So that's awesome. Well, thank you for your time, Chaz. I appreciate you, your friendship. I love you and can't wait to see you again. We're going to see each other very soon, which is awesome. So thanks for all you do for the world and all you do for us visionaries out there.
Well, God bless your audience and God bless you, and love you too, brother.
All right. Thanks, Chaz. Have a great day.
Thank you for tuning in to Viva La Visionary. We hope you enjoyed today's episode and found inspiration in our guest stories. If you loved what you heard, please subscribe, rate, and share the podcast with fellow dreamers and doers. Join us next time as we continue to explore the limitless possibilities of visionary thinking. Until then, keep dreaming big and taking action. Your vision matters.